TTS Jack.
Hello, hello, hello. Theoretically, okay. Everything's working.
Never gonna give you up.
Welcome, welcome, y'all. It's nice to see you all again. We can see in here. That's good. That's always important. Hey, good morning, Shem.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Just running through my last couple of checks, making sure that everything looks like it's working. Weirdness. Weirdness always happens. Okay. Well, what is this music in the background? This is, let me see if I can share this on screen with y'all. It's always cursed trying to show y'all my... There we go. Okay. Because I never want to dox my actual Spotify. I'm not showing y'all my actual listening habits. But it is Stream Beats by Harris Heller. It's what I always use. And then around this time of year, I like to switch to a very lo-fi Christmas. It's not, like, explicitly Christmassy. It just has a different vibe to it. So I am going to clean my glasses because apparently they're very dirty. And I truly can't tell if I'm in focus right now or not. Do we have the goose? We do not have the goose right now. We'll see maybe halfway in if we will have the space and emotional capacity to have the goose. Because this is... For those of you, I'm just kind of like chilling here. Oh, for those of you who have been to my streams before, you will know that frequently my streams are not super technical. Today, oh, why is it so hard to clean glasses? There we go. Today we are writing code, which is weird sometimes for my streams. So, it might not be the right time for the goose. Okay, looks like I'm in focus there. Thank you for telling me that my glasses suit me. I like them too.
What are we talking about?
So we are going to be talking about using Google Sheets as your cloud database, which for those of you who have, again, been to some of my streams before, you will recognize that as a thing that I've talked about before. And this time we're going to try implementing it. And generally, this week I'm doing 4 technical streams. Some of y'all joined me on Monday, no, Tuesday, one of the days of the week for slideshow karaoke, which was wonderful. And then I have 4 technical streams and 1 more mini event at some point, but I forgot what it is. I'll need to check. But of the technical streams that I'm doing, they are all kind of related. So this one is using Google Sheets as a cloud database.
Could you show a website with HTML, CSS, and use Sheets as database?
So we're going to be slightly simpler than that. We aren't going to be making the website, and I'll talk more about that in a sec. I'm doing No Light on Saturday. But 4 technical streams, we're starting with this one. We're going to be talking about using Google Sheets as a database, practicing it, and then my next 3 are an idea that some of you will remember and be familiar with. Specifically, Shem, you might remember this idea of building an MLH stream link aggregator. Guess what we're going to be building on stream? So we're going to be implementing using Google Sheets as a database here because it is the perfect use case for that. And we'll get more into that. I have a whole pitch for y'all on when using Google Sheets is an appropriate use of it as a database and when it would be inappropriate and all of that jazz. But we aren't going to be making the website, but we will be showing how you could read from the database that you could add to a website. But in this case, we're basically going to try using the Google Sheet as the front end. That's why I want to use it for this project. With that, I had a thought. Ashwin, I think you need to use exclamation point TTS at the beginning of your message. I don't think you can make it in the middle. Hello, hello. Welcome to everyone who's just coming on in. I'm very excited for this stream. With that, I think I've given a good general overview of what's going to be happening. And I think it is time to switch into my introduction of Google Sheets as a cloud database.
Yeah, I used it earlier, but did not read before texting.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Cheap IKEA table. Very wobbly sometimes. Someone said here, we need to use Google Cloud Platform to make it possible. Yes, and technically,
I was asking.
we will, yes. Like, technically, we will need to touch Google Cloud Platform. But that is only because that is where we set up the API credentials. My goal of this stream is we're talking about cloud technologies, and cloud technologies are hard and complicated. And the goal here is to let's like simplify everything down to make your like small projects that don't necessarily need a full cloud stack. So we are eventually going to hopefully be hosting this on the cloud, but we aren't going to be hosting it in Google Cloud Platform. We're going to be hosting it hopefully on Python Anywhere, because it's just going to be a script that we just need to run on occasion. 404 Dimmer uses that yes and so well I end up saying yes but all the time. It is a thing that I've gotten from improv, which is a thing that I mentioned the last time that I was around y'all, that I really like for situations like this. Python, we have converted dimmer. Python was my first language. I'm a huge Python person. You'll remember that some of my first real technical streams were when we created those Python scripts to read from YouTube and to allow y'all to play Minecraft from within YouTube chat. It is just when I'm doing streaming stuff, it makes more sense for me to use a more traditional web tech stack because that fits more easily into the way that OBS works. But Python is actually where I feel most comfortable. Just gonna turn that music down a little bit. Okay. With that, let's get into this. I want to put a huge disclaimer on this.
By the way, Dimmer, how can we connect to you on any platform?
I am not really on social media. But my Twitter and LinkedIn are Nathan Dimmer. I go by Dimmer. I use they, them pronouns, but my first name on all those platforms is still listed as Nathan. Okay, huge disclaimer. Google Sheets is a bad database. I think that's probably self-evident. I think the fun of this is the fact that we are going to be using something that is not really good or designed for being a cloud database as a cloud database. But I just want to make sure I'm very explicit about it. Google Sheets is not a good database because it is heavily restricted API speeds. Like if you have more than like maybe a dozen users using your application, you will start to have people just not get your information. Maybe a dozen's an exaggeration. Maybe a couple hundred is how you could actually get to. But it is super restricted. It's unsuitable for mass reading and writing using an API. And also, it is literally one big table. So for those of you who have taken classes and know more than me about database stuff, I know that there's a whole bunch of ways to architect your database to make it more efficient and more specifically more secure. So all the data just isn't in one big place. In Google Sheets, it's obviously all in one place, in one Google Sheet. So don't be storing like people's social security numbers and things like that on there. That being said, it is perfect for giving people information in a format that is easily readable and understandable by the end user, because most people know how to open up a spreadsheet and look at it. So if you are, the goal of this is that we can skip over creating a front end because we can just give people access to our database, quote unquote, and they can understand how to get information from it. It's also super cheap because it is free and it will continue to be free, and like there's no pricing here because it's Google Sheets. Like, what do you expect? And it is adequate for low volume situations. In this case, with this project, we are just going to be writing to it using the API. So, and we're only writing from one source whenever a Twitch link or a link is dropped in Twitch chat. So we aren't ever going to saturate the API access that we have. So it is like perfect for this instance, but it is bad as a database for anything that you ever want to or think might grow past your like small group of users. In this case, the like users that I'm counting here are the people that are writing to the database, because that's the restriction here, is the API usage. And only one user will ever be writing to the database at the same time, and that is our bot, and it is only ever going to be writing when a link is dropped in Twitch chat. So it is perfect for this instance, but it is not perfect for many other instances. But for your like small personal projects, for your things that you're just hacking together, for your like proof of concepts, I think it can be very fun and very cool. And hopefully it'll be fairly simple. I found, for those of you, I'm assuming that people have interacted with Fireship before, fireship.io. They have a tutorial on this, which is wonderful. I love Fireship. They do a very good job with all of this, giving good tutorials that are like fast and snappy and things like that. So there are resources out there on how to do this. And yeah, it like works really well for small personal projects. Ashwin, can we somehow do the same thing with Microsoft Excel? Are there any ways? Microsoft 365? Probably, but I don't know. And that's not what we're going to be doing today, because I do know that it is very easy to, the reason why this is easy is because there is a Google Sheets API as part of the Google Cloud Platform. So you can create a free Google Cloud Platform account and get free access to their Google Sheets API. And with any Google account, you have free Google Sheets. And Microsoft 365, while they are trying to make more free tiers to compete, I'm still like a Google user, and I don't know how you would probably need to use Azure to do the same thing. And I've never touched Azure ever. So this is going to be Google Sheets, but if you are a diehard Excel user, you could probably figure something out. The real idea here is, can we just use a cloud spreadsheet software instead of a database? So let's talk about the project that made me want to talk about this, because again, this is highly dependent on the project, and we're going to be creating again that MLH stream link aggregator. So we're going to be collecting links from Twitch chat each stream for people to use later / when they watch the recording. In essence, Shem was talking about...
Thanks. Definitely wahoo, and we have free credits given by MLH too.
Yep, that is also part of the reason that we always have free credits for Google Cloud Platform, and most events these days are sponsored by Google Cloud Platform as well. Oh, but Shem was talking about how they had like infinite number of tabs. Hey, thanks for the follow, Vishal. Like an infinite number of tabs open, and during the during streams, because it kept opening streams, and 404 will stop need to making pastebin links with all the links in MLH. Yes, like people are doing these things to try collecting all this information that is consistently being dropped. And what if we were to just create a repository so that you don't need to constantly be saving it yourself, but you can find them again? So the good news here is that it is inherently public facing with no need for security. Everything that we were storing was already posted publicly. So it can be a Google Sheet that is shared with everyone, because it doesn't matter if like there is no access control that we need to do. I talked about this before. It's only being written to from one source. Thus we have like a slow number of calls to the API, because it is just being written to by our bot. And again, the real thing here that I think is amazing is that we don't need to make a front end, because our Google Sheet is going to be read by the user directly. And I think it would be cool to make like a Google Sheets front end where like we create a separate page that has the ability to like search and filter by date and things like that, and clean it up for people. But it can all be within Google Sheets, so we don't need to spend the time to write some front end. And yeah, Google Sheets makes it super easy. We don't need to like do hosting anywhere. We can just share that link with people, and hey, oh look, ta-da, everyone has access to it. So with that, we are going to get started. So I talked about this before, that I have this tutorial from Fireship. And Fireship is... they call themselves a blazing fast and highly amusing way to level up your programming skills. It is filled with memes, if you can't tell, and...
let's go.
It is just like very quick tutorials on... it started with mostly Fire-based stuff, and still has like a real, like, if we go into courses, they talk about a lot of things now, but a lot of Flutter, Firebase sort of things. That was sort of their original kind of take on stuff. But now they have a whole bunch of different things. So, well, that seems fun. I'm very excited for this. I think Google Sheets formats links now too, title, etc. Oh, that would be beautiful if they did that. I'm you were tempted, 404. You can't stop. Yeah, there needs to be a metal pipes anonymous. So, okay, this is a combination of a tutorial video, which we're going to be watching the video, but there's also a lot of text here that we will be referring to. And this is Google Sheets as a database, and he talks about everything. He does it through a Next.js application, but we aren't going to be using Next.js. So this is like a good overview that I want to show y'all, but then we are going to like, we're going to have a little bit more to it than this. So, thank you, Ashman. I'm going to pause my music. We're going to watch this tutorial, and then we are going to implement it.
What if I told you there is a database?
Ooh. Let's turn this up.
That is 100% free, has a world What if I told you there is a database that is 100% free, has a world-class admin UI, and almost everybody in the world knows how to use it?
That's impossible.
Believe it or not, Google Sheets, the spreadsheet software, can be used as a lightweight database or headless CMS as the data layer in your application stack. And that's exactly what I'll show you how to do today by integrating Google Sheets with Next.js. In the process, you'll learn how to easily fetch data from a Google Sheet in any server-side Node.js application, which also opens the door to connecting hundreds of other Google APIs to your server. If you're new here, like and subscribe, and follow along with the full write-up on Fireship.io. But before you get too excited about this amazing old tech, there are some important caveats when using Google Sheets as your primary database. First of all, it was never designed to be an app database. It's not going to be ACID compliant and doesn't support joins or complex queries. Actual data storage only scales to 5 million cells, and there's also an API quota that limits you to 500 requests per 100 seconds. But even with those limitations, Google Sheets actually makes a great little database for prototyping, and there's really nothing stopping you from using it in production. If you're building a Jamstack site, you could use it as a headless CMS, and it's very unlikely that you'll ever hit the API quota or storage limits. But most importantly, it's super easy to use. So let's jump right into things. The first step is to create a Google Sheet and add some data to it. You'll notice I have two columns here, one for the title and one with content in the form of HTML. Now, to fetch or query data from the sheet, all you have to do is highlight it, and you'll notice when you do that it creates a range of cells up here in the top left corner. That'll come into play later when we start making requests through the API. Now, in order to make the sheet available to the app, we need to share it publicly. When you click the share button, it generates a URL, and inside that URL, you'll notice an ID, which is the ID of the sheet itself. You'll want to make a note of that ID for later. The next step is to generate our Next.js application. And keep in mind, you can follow the same basic process for any Node.js server. We can run npx create next app from the command line, and then open it up in VS Code. Whenever working with a Google API on the server, you'll want to install the REST client for your preferred language, which in our case is Node.js. Run npm install Google APIs, and we can use this package to simplify the authentication process and give us IntelliSense and VS Code. Now, what we actually want to build in next is a blog that will give us a list of post titles. Then clicking on a title will take us to the post page and render out the HTML in the Google Sheet. That means we need two different components in Next, which will live in the pages/post directory. The first one is the index page, and the second one takes a dynamic ID parameter, which corresponds to an actual row in the spreadsheet. For now, we'll just go ahead and leave these files empty, because before we can do anything, we need to authenticate the Google API to our project. Authenticating a Google API in a project is a very complicated topic, which you'll find out if you try to read the official documentation, but it doesn't really have to be. There are multiple ways to authenticate, but the two you should know about are application default credentials and OAuth 2. In this demo, we'll be using default credentials, which is just like using an API key. The limitation, though, is that you only have access to resources on your own Google account. That works fine for us, but many apps using Google APIs want access to resources owned by other users. Like, for example, if our app wanted to access files in somebody else's Google Drive. For apps like that, the other user needs to first give us permission, and the only way to do that is with OAuth 2 authentication. That's beyond the scope of this video, but it's important to make the distinction, and if you want to learn more, I have a pro video on Fireship.io dedicated to it. Now that we decided we're using default authentication, we can head over to the Google Cloud Platform console to enable the API. Now, the Sheets API is 100% free, but you may need to have a credit card on file when creating a new Google Cloud account. Once you have a Google Cloud account and project set up, you can go to APIs and Services, then click the button to enable APIs and Services. Type Sheets into the search bar, then click the Enable button. That'll take a second to enable, then click Manage. From there, you'll see a tab for credentials. Go ahead and click on that, and find your App Engine default service account. Go ahead and click on that, and then you'll find one more tab for keys. From there, you can generate a key, which is just a JSON file that includes your credentials and can authorize another server to access APIs and other resources that you own on Google Cloud. I'm downloading that file to the root of my Next.js project as secrets.json, but it's very important that you don't expose this file publicly. If someone gets a hold of it, they'll have access to your Google Cloud account. So make sure to add it to your git ignore file before committing this to a public repo. Now that our credentials are in place, we need to make them available to our server-side code, and the way we can do that is with an environment variable. The Next.js framework will automatically find any environment variables that you define in the .env.local file. Create that file, then inside of it, add the Google Application Credentials environment variable and point it to the service account JSON. It's important that that variable has that exact name. In addition, I'm also adding a sheet ID environment variable, which is the sheet that I got from the URL in the Google Sheet earlier. And now we're finally ready to write some JavaScript code. We'll first go into the post.id.js file and import Google from the Google APIs package. Now, the next thing I'll do is set up our server-side code by exporting an async function called get server-side props. If you're not familiar with Next.js, I do have a video about that, but basically this function will only run on the server, and its purpose is to fetch data or props that we can then use in the front-end React component. So first we'll fetch the title and content.
This is where I am going to quickly skip through that because that is specifically Next.js.
Now we're ready to make our first query to the spreadsheet, or database I mean. We want to fetch an individual row number, which we'll get from the URL as the ID parameter. Then to make the request, we need to specify a range of columns and cells. The Google Sheets query language will first have you specify a sheet or table followed by an exclamation point, then the range of cells that you want to access. For example, if we want row 23, we can say column A23 through column C23. But in this case, we don't want to hard code it. We want to use the dynamic ID that gets passed in through the URL. Now we can make an actual request to the API by awaiting the sheets spreadsheet values get method. That method will take our range along with the spreadsheet ID, which if you remember earlier, we set up as an environment variable. That'll give us a response that contains the data we want for the UI. The data is formatted in an array, and I'm using destructuring here to give the values a name of title and content. Now at this point, we can run the next app by running npm run dev, and if we pull it up in the browser and go to the URL of post/3, it should give us row 3 in the spreadsheet. And that's what I would call some next level sheet.
So past the puns there, that's like a very good quick overview of what we're going to be trying to do. Again, we aren't going to be using Next.js. We're going to be running this in a Python app. So the actual code that we might be writing will look slightly different. But generally, we are going to be following this guide, which the irony is palpable as I drop this in chat as we are creating a project that is designed to save links that are dropped in chat. And hello, Chisel. Oh, goodness. Okay. The sheet jokes are bordering on the stereotypical dad jokes. Yes, this channel is very corny, but also has really good information and really good overviews. I think it's a really good place to get inspiration of like, ooh, that sounds like an interesting thing to try. With that, let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to make sure I'm not going to dox myself because I am going to be using I'm going to be using my actual Google account for this. Yeah. Or I could use a throwaway. But no, I don't want to do that. Wait. Okay.
Why did the Google Sheets API apply for a credit card? It wanted to make transactions more spreadsheetable.
I don't know what the joke is there. I'll need that explained to me. My brain is too smooth. Oh, TTS is working? It is. Just signing into my Google account. Two-factor authentication, all that jazz.
How are you doing today, Dimmer?
I'm doing well. It's like 9:30 for me in the morning, so I was a little bit tired, but generally doing okay. Okay, here we go. We have a spreadsheet, and I'm going to call this spreadsheet MLH stream links, or yes. Sheets, then we're going to share this. What? I did. There we go. Okay. General access, anyone with the link. Great. And now if we copy the link, let me create a new creating a new project for this. MLH projects. Great. Okay. I literally forgot the name of... I named my folder Google Hack Week Careers, but that was last month. Google Hack Week Cloud. There we go. Okay. Hey, there we go. Okay. We have a folder. And we are going to create a new... It's called bot.py. Almost knocked a glass cup off of my table. That would have been bad. So while that's installing, the steps really are create the Google Sheet, make sure that it is shared, and then we need to go into our Google Cloud and enable the Google Sheets API. So again, just trying to make sure I don't dox myself. Let's go into that Google Cloud interface. Go to console. Great. Okay. New project. And we will call this MLH Stream Link Aggregator. I cannot spell aggregator for the life of me. Let's aggregator. Oh my goodness. I can't type apparently either. There we go. Okay, great. That is now spelled correctly. So MLH Streamlink Aggregator. Create. Hey, okay. Select project. We have our project. Thank you, Shem, for dropping that in chat. Okay, theoretically, great. That's installed. We will need to we'll need to install the Google Cloud stuff in a sec, but let's do this part first. So, hello. We are currently building well, we're basically trying to use Google Sheets as a cloud database. It's going to be a little janky, but it'll be great. Okay, enable APIs and services in our Google Cloud platform, and we're going to search for these sheets. Hey, the Google Sheets API. Enable. Great. Okay. Credentials tab. I'm so lost. I'm so bad at using Google Cloud Platform. I've technically used it before. Manage. Create credentials. What data will you be acquiring? I don't know the answer to that because we don't want OAuth because we're just trying to get it from our own account. What are we trying to create here? Okay, service account key, service account. Great, service account name. This will be... Oh, this is where I really don't understand what's happening. Okay. The name here will be like... help. Chat, help me come up with a service account name. I've absolutely no idea. Service accounty service account face.
It shall be named Shiati.
Great. Perfect. I like that here you can see that it has randomization there because other people have named that. And then we do Sheedy and it's like, oh, no one's ever done that before. Okay, create and continue. Select a role. This is where I'd appreciate some more help, Fireship.
We can head over to the Google Cloud Platform console to enable the API. Now, the Sheets API is 100% free, but you may need to have a credit card on file when creating a new Google Cloud account. Once you have a Google Cloud account and project set up, you can go to APIs and Services, and then click the button to enable APIs and Services. Type Sheets into the search bar, then click the Enable button. That'll take a second to enable, then click Manage. From there, you'll see a tab for credentials. Go ahead and click on that, and find your App Engine default service account. Go ahead and click on that, and then
But I don't have an App Engine default
you'll find one more
account.
tab for keys. From there, you can generate a key, which is just a JSON.
Okay, we're just gonna have it set as basic. Editor. This is deranged. Okay. So now
On file, that includes your credentials. Find your App Engine default service account. Go ahead and click on that.
find our App Engine default service account, which we don't have, so we just made one. Click on that. Go to keys.
And then you'll find one more tab for keys. From there, you can generate a key, which is just a JSON file that includes your credentials and can authorize.
Okay. Create new key. Okay. I think this is working, but we'll see. 404 I heart dad jokes. Missed the chance to name it Sheedy Project. Yeah, a Sheedy Project. Shem, I'm on my phone this stream, so it's more difficult to see and be more involved in chat. So sorry, totally fine. You are still actively participating, and I really appreciate your suggestions on a name. Okay. So we have that. Now it's going to be, we need to install all of our Google Cloud stuff for Python. Yeah, okay. So this is where we need to divulge or separate from this tutorial. Google Cloud API Python. There is no just Google Sheets. You are dumb option here. Raphael, etc. Thank you for the follow. It always takes me a sec to parse what people's usernames are. This is where the fun begins. Okay. So what we did here.
Another server to access APIs and other resources that you own on Google Cloud. I'm downloading that file to the root of my Next.js project as secrets.json, but it's very important that you don't expose this file publicly. If someone gets a hold of it, they'll have access to your Google Cloud account. So make sure to add it to your git ignore file before committing this to a public repo. Now that our credentials are in place, we need to make them available to our server-side code. And the way we can do that is with an environment variable. The Next.js framework will automatically. And now we're finally ready to write some JavaScript code. We'll first go into the post id.js file and import Google from the Google APIs package. Now the next thing.
Okay. I think this is what we need. Why can I not copy that? So we should be able to do a pip install. And apparently it was already installed. Okay, but I always do need to switch this to that so that this code matches with pip here. Okay, let's look at the docs. I like how it says install the library, but the installation page is gone. Okay, it was just the pip install. Great. Okay. Okay.
It looks like you're in a Streamlit environment. You might need to deactivate it. I always have to deactivate.
You're in a stream. I've never heard of Streamlit before. Wait, show the error, please. There is no error. We're just trying to figure out... Wait, I feel like I'm missing something. I'm just trying to figure out where to start with this because we don't have a tutorial for... in your VS Code terminal. I'll be honest, I don't think that I am, because I've never even used... Why would I... So, streaming is the name of the user on my Mac. I don't think this requires Streamlit, and I'm not using it in any way. I believe that everything's working correctly here. The thing is just that VS Code defaults here.
No, it's me. Streaming I saw and notice my bad.
Totally fine. That makes a lot more sense. Oh yeah, but my VS Code always defaults to Python 3.11, but pip installs to 3.9, and I don't know enough about Python or don't really care enough to fix it. So I just always need to change that. So I really hate Google Docs. They always feel so complicated. How to use Google Cloud API in a Python script. Actually, let's see if someone's done this with the Google Sheets API. Hey! Okay. We've created the project. We've enabled the Google Sheets API. Select a role. Hey, we even got the role right. Okay, great. So we've done all of that. Create a new key. We've done that. Okay, here we go. Pip install Google Cloud. Great. Wait. Okay, theoretically that installed. I need this playlist. Yeah, it's just search a very lo-fi Christmas on wherever you get your music, and you'll be able to find it. I just use Spotify because I know that if I put Spotify in my browser, my ad blocker will block the ads, so it works for stream. For my personal music, I do it all downloaded it old school. Okay, so we've installed that. We're going to install our authentication libraries. Great. Okay. Theoretically, everything just installed there. Oh. Share your new Google Sheet spreadsheet with your service account. That is smart and interesting and makes sense. Okay, details. Let's share it with Sheety. So share, send. Okay. Record the URL identifier. Let's do that. If we copy our link and we toss it in here. We have our URL identifier. Great. Let me drop this in chat as well. Again, I'm aware of the irony. Okay. And then configure a test application in Python. To keep things simple, put the key.json in the same directory. Great. Okay. Can I do this? Aha! Okay. Just leaked that. Everyone can now completely destroy my Google Cloud account. Build the test application as follows. I didn't mean to do that. It opened automatically when I moved it into the folder. I was trying to be really smart and careful, and it just happened. I'll need to go back through afterward and blur that in the recording. Okay. Let's add. If I do this, great. And then let's add that link just to give our sheet some data. Hey, you're right. That's very nice. Okay. Probably a good idea to regenerate tokens, etc. Yeah, but I'll need to do that just after the stream because I'm totally just going to leak it again. Like, I am totally okay with that. It is just a part of the process. If we were doing this in person, it wouldn't matter. Like, the problem is not y'all. Okay. So we now have data. Now let's go back to our sample project. Spreadsheet ID, ranges. Let's see. Spreadsheet ID. And then if we leave ranges blank, hopefully it'll show everything. Let's just try running this. Ooh, no such file key.json. What is it actually named? Oh God, let's rename that. Actually, no. Okay. Where? Okay. If we do that. Well, it gives us the title. Dimmer has way too much trust in us. Again, if I were doing this in person at a hackathon, I wouldn't care if that was leaked. Okay. So, good news. We are able to get the, at least, name of this. Let's see if we... let's generate some fake data here. I could have just sworn I heard an oof sound in that music. Volume is Google Chrome. Why, Google, are you trying to update all the time? I didn't ask you to update Chrome. Okay, anyway. This should be a date timestamp. Date. Stop. Okay. Drag this over again. And then this will be our time. So we'll say that that was 9 o'clock. And this will be replaced with whatever is better. Whatever we're actually using. This is, again, just like sample stuff to see, to make sure that we can read what we want to read. And that'll be replaced with actual like date time codes and things like that from our bot. Okay. Now, if we try running this again. Okay, we just get the title, but in that range, if we do this, A1D4, that did not work the way that I thought it did. Okay. Let's take a look at this. So does this include grid data false? That is also a little sus. Let's do true there. And see. Nope. Wait, I missed a dimmer stream? Well, you haven't completely missed it. You're here now. Welcome, welcome. Spreadsheet. Which we are getting. We are getting the spreadsheet. Ugh. Okay. Let's take a look here. Query the sheet. Okay, the range was a lot more complicated than what I was doing. So it would be sheet 1 exclamation point. Let's try this. Nope. I really wish it would give us an error so we know what was happening. I think I figured out what it is. I don't think this is actually trying to print the data. So let's... Ugh, my mouse! Okay. Properties, title... Google Sheets API sheet props. See, but we aren't using the REST version. View documentation. Okay, great. Read and write cell values. Python quick start. Okay. Let's take a look at Google's quick start here. Whew. Okay. I think this is... Okay. Result.get. Okay. Then we dot execute. So now we should be able to do values equals results, but in this case it is sheet props. Sheet props.get values. So theoretically, this is now getting our values from our result. And this should print it all out. Great, okay, right? Yes. No data found. No data found? No data found? Okay, how do they define a range here? Sample range name, class data, sheet 1. Okay, let's try this. 913. What a surprise. Service equals build. Okay. I am literally going to get rid of this because it is not doing what we want it to do, and we'll start from scratch. So, service build. Mouse. Great. Okay, let's try this. All of this. Here we go. Great, okay. We don't want sample spreadsheet ID. We just want it to be spreadsheet ID and our range. This is where it is going to be sheet 1. Exclamation point A1 2D.
Do you have the spreadsheet ID in there? I just ordered a new mouse. My older mouse doesn't stay charged for very long when paired with the M1.
Do you have the spreadsheet ID in there? Yes, spreadsheet ID is up here. Print list index out of range. So that's in our printing. Oh. Four row in values. For data in row. Print data. Great. So we do have the spreadsheet ID, and also I just ordered a new mouse. My older mouse doesn't stay charged very long when paired with the M1. The problem is that this mouse is really good. I really like... Boom! Look at that. We're reading from our database. Only in an hour and done by someone who has very little to no cloud experience. That makes me happy. My mouse is really great. It's a Triathlon M720. It's not the mouse itself. It is the configuration that I've added to the mouse to make the side buttons do this.
Good job.
Thank you. Okay. So now that I'm done staring at this and kind of mumbling to myself, because I know I wasn't being super clear, let me walk through what we just did here. So we import the stuff that we need from Google, simple as that, and then we take our spreadsheet ID, which was that part of the link, and we define that as a variable. And then we do our credentials stuff, whatever, or we do our credentials stuff. This is the part that I just treat as black magic.
Good job.
It just works. Thank you. Now this part, though, in very few lines, we're reading from a database, which I think is again, those of you who've been to my streams before know that this is what I like to do. Very little amount of code, good impact. So we create our service with those credentials, and then we take inside that service the spreadsheets. So those credentials include the spreadsheet ID comes later. So we create a service which says this is how we are going to access our spreadsheets. And then we say that our sheet is all of the spreadsheets connected to that service. And then we define our result as getting the value, or I don't necessarily know the syntax. I know intellectually what it's trying to do, but I don't know how to say it in English very well. But in essence, what we're doing is we're taking the spreadsheet ID and the range to query, and then we are like executing that on the values of the sheet. So in essence, all of the spreadsheets, we're getting this specific ID, that specific range, executing it, and then inside there we get values as an array, and then we print it out. So this is reading.
Have been waiting for Purple Heart.
Oh, this is the bot I've been waiting for. I'm very excited. This will take multiple streams to do, but this is the first part. Now the thing is, this is reading from the database, and we want to write because we want people to be able to read from it just by going to the website. So good proof of concept, but now we are going to try writing to it, which hopefully now read multiple ranges, write. Okay. Python. Let's take a look at this. Actually, we're about halfway through the stream. We just hit a big milestone. Let's take a quick bio break. I need to drink more water. I'm going to put a 5-minute timer up on the screen. Go and take care of yourself. Do what you need to do. Drink water. Have a snack. And we will be back. See you all very shortly. Whoa, what just happened there? There we go.
I am back.
There we go. Let's get music back down. Welcome back, y'all. I also, Ashwin, I do know that that is a Rickroll video. I have secret ways, and I figured that out without even needing to open it. Because if I screen share my OBS setup, when I hover over this, the title is, "Let's see how many people get Rickrolled," the silly face emoji. So before I could even click on it to see what it was already spoiled for me. So,
That said,
truly, one of the great tragedies of the modern world. With that, however,
you merely adopted the Rickroll. I was born in it, molded by it.
touche. Let's take a look at trying to see if we can write to our spreadsheet. Because if we can write to it, that's the main point of this project. So, what? Sorry, just reading code, trying to understand what it means. I have enough computer science knowledge to be dangerous, but not enough to be able to instantly recognize what is happening. So we're passing in spreadsheet ID, range name, value input option, and then underscore values. But then why do we define, if we're passing it in, I do not understand that one. Wait. Oh, what's this called? It's like the variable that is in that you pass into functions. You can tell that it's been a while since I've been in a computer science class. Okay, it's used for internal use, so it doesn't actually mean anything. It is just a naming convention. But then I'm still confused why we define it here. Okay, we're gonna... Let's take this. And we are going to comment that, paste, fix all of the indentation stuff that just went weird. Wait, this is where there should be a good extension for... Back when I was doing hackathons and I was using VS Code constantly, I had a whole bunch of things set up that would fix indentation, things like this. Okay. So we don't need any of the returns because this isn't a function. Wait, why are we returning? How is this structured? Okay, I understand slightly more now.
Rainbow extension for Python.
That is very useful. Thank you. Hey, great.
The CSV one.
Wait. Common, it's an exclamation point TTS. The CSV, Rainbow CSV.
And that is why I love Java and hate Python.
I mean,
Cool.
I do kind of agree, but also Python feels nice. Oh, goodness.
Can we ban Ashwin, please?
Why do I not remember? Command palette. Oh, it's shift. Okay.
By the way, I am Rethardo on Discord. Remember at 404 not found 19.
Oh, wait. I want to be able to append. But this is for editing specific. Interesting. That will be an interesting issue to see. Right, multiple ranges. Append. Here we go. Okay. Instead of .update .append. But then why do we provide a range? If we're appending, what is the range? If the body of the update must be value. Okay. Let's try getting rid of that.
Random, but a neighbor just dropped off a dozen chocolate cupcakes. I need a glass of milk. Range for the Google Sheet?
Yes, so it's range for the Google Sheet, but if we're trying to append, why do we need to define a range? And why? That is exactly... I don't understand. I feel like something is just like wrong with my Python parser right now. Because this is still showing old, like... Why is this except still erroring? Because we have try here, except here. That's... Okay, what if I just comment you out?
So the return data doesn't get placed in bizarre places on the database?
I mean... But the goal of appending is that I don't need to know where the end... Because... With this, we would need to, if we were defining a range, we would need to figure out what the next open cell is. We never want to overwrite something. Line 19.
VSC is stuck. You'll need that except block.
What do you mean by VSC is stuck? Oh, Visual Studio Code. Okay, what if I save, quit, and open you again? Thank you. Values is not defined.
Still showing the error when you comment it, which means it was stuck.
Good to know. Okay, so we do need the values because that is what we are trying to append. So I understand now. Okay.
Values equals cell values 1 additional rows.
So in our values here, what we're looking for is this first is our column and this is our row. So we're trying to append, and it will be the stream title stream date, stream time. Again, these will be done through
https://
RIP.
www.youtube.com watch v equals xi2fku0.
Four, can you try dropping a link in chat without the exclamation point TTS? This is, I currently have all TTS on.
https:// www.
Fun. Okay. To be dealt with. Okay. Date, time, and then our link, which I will just grab. Apparently the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer as our link. Okay, those are our values. Let's try running this. I'm sure I'm missing something, but line 20. Missing parameter range. Missing parameter range. Okay. Range name. The body of the update request must be a value range. Though the only required field is values. You can optionally specify its major dimension by default. I understand now. None cells updated? But it did!
I've been trying that.
It added. Bam. So, the none cells updated there is I don't understand why that didn't work, but take a look at that, and it appended on the end, which worked. So I needed to provide the range for it to look at to find the end if I realized. Because otherwise, if I just say, find the end in the database, I could have multiple different blocks of data in this database.
Good job.
So we now have appending data, and we also have reading data if we need it. We don't, because the goal is for people just to be able to look at this, but we have everything that we need. Which means we're using Google Sheets as a cloud database. This is, for those of you, again, who haven't been to many of my streams, you won't truly appreciate how rare it is that in this stream, I attempted to do something technical, and it is working an hour and 38 minutes in. We are 22 minutes, we still have 22 minutes, and what I set out to do is working, which is super rare, because again, I am not the best technical programmer. Functional, I can figure it out. I can muddle my way through, but I'm not the best.
Well, she.
Truly. Well, there we go. Let's... Wow, what do we do now?
Good job.
Thank you. Because, let me look at my stream plan.
Dimmer's latest research on chicken came in handy to make this quick.
Truly. For those, that is a reference, again, to the mini event that we did, which was slideshow karaoke, where I needed to present a slideshow that was on chicken, which included the chicken matrix. Okay. So yeah, Tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to be starting building the stream aggregator, which is when we're going to be building the Twitch bot portion of it. And then here's the ironic part. I didn't expect today to be super successful. So I scheduled the second stream aggregator stream to be implementing the Google Sheets. I thought it would be more complicated than it was. This is super simple, super easy. So yeah, up next tomorrow, we're going to be implementing the Twitch chat bot. I guess what we should do is give it accurate timestamping, because that's something that we can do right now before we get the Twitch chat stuff.
Now we can have a 10-minute fireside conversation with Dimmer?
I mean, yes, but we'll make it 10 minutes. So I want to have 10 minutes to be able to fix this from something that I am like manually entering that's just like kind of jank and weird to pulling a timestamp from when this was run. So why are you red? Ugh. Some people will make fun of me from... Why is that the default thumbnail for YouTube? That's wild. Okay. So let's close you. Close you.
Don't jinx yourself with the code with only a few minutes left in the stream.
I mean, okay, yes, and this should be fairly simple. I know that we'll be using the time library, but I just want to... Yeah, that's not how I want. I want date time. Okay. Great. Now in our values, here we're just going to have daytime now. That's exactly what we want. And now if I save this and run, oh, I'll need to make it a string. Forgetting typecasting in Python. Great. Well, but what is it? Got the suggestion of F string in chat. So yes, but that isn't necessarily... Oh wait, seriously? Let's try it. Wouldn't I need the curly brackets to do that? Hey, yeah, that worked. Great. So now that adds the date time. But I want that to be separated out.
Good job.
Thank you, Polar Void. Oh, welcome. I haven't seen you yet thus far.
Quote of stream, I didn't expect this to work so fast.
I mean, yes, that is a thing that I feel like I am consistently saying. Okay. datetime.now. Because I want to separate it out date and time. Great. RIP. Also, eventually we'll be able to update that to the GTA 6 death sound, apparently. So, okay. Year, month, day. Okay. So this will be dot year dash dot month dash. Thank you, Polar Void. I know that Python date time is very funny. Peak of comedy. I also love that they haven't said anything in chat. Oh wait, no, you did. Dimmer stream, dimmer stream, dimmer stream, dimmer stream. I just totally missed that because I was so focused on Hi, Polar Void. Okay. Great. And now I can add our...
I have so many channel points, mwahaha.
See, but the problem is that that is a position that I've heard many people be in, and then they've slowly run out.
Dimmer, I know who the many people are.
Who the many people are? How do I get the points? You get the points just by watching.
That is true. Thanks to you.
So, like, every, hour that you watch, you get a certain number of channel points. And then in the bottom of chat, there might be a little present icon that's shaking, and that's like a bonus 50 points. So the people who are spending all these channel points, they can be high rollers because they've been watching for a long time. I do want to say, though, I am the only stream that actually implements channel point rewards. So, if you are looking to spend them, you can only spend them on my streams. You can get them from any stream, but you can only spend them on mine. I tried to turn off the...
Dimmer needs to remove the metal pipe, or add the knocking.
We did say that we were going to update our sounds a couple of streams ago. I only get the 50 points. It'll be adding the other ones automatically. So if you just watch, you can see your streams increase over, or your points increase over time. Sufan. I'm late, but I totally agree with 404. You are here. And
This is an unbalanced video game economy, Dimmer.
Wait, one sec. Sorry. Okay. Reset. Hard reset my brain. Sufyan, really glad that you're here. Even if you are late, you are still here, which I always appreciate. And you can stop by to future streams this week. I'm going to be streaming same time tomorrow. And also, this is an unbalanced video game economy. Yes, it is 100% an unbalanced video game economy. It is completely broken. Last time I was trying to add, game mechanics that you can use with channel points. But the problem is that Twitch wants channel points to be this pure system that can't ever be messed with, so that you could theoretically redeem channel points for real world objects.
Shem has cheats on.
Shem just has good channel point management. You've spent all of yours on a truly staggering number of metal pipe sound effects and knocking sound effects.
Overthrow the Twitch overlords.
I mean, so, okay, here's the thing. We could replace Twitch channel points with a third-party channel point system. But to be able to see how many points you'd need to do a chat command, and to be able to redeem them, you'd need to do a chat command. So we can do that, and then you would be able to gamble them on a whole bunch of things and duel each other and trade and pool points together and do all of these different things. But that would require having a separate point system that does not show in the UI, which is, so I'm thinking about it. I'm looking into it. Okay, so that ran, and hey, there we go. Okay, now we have date and time showing when this is run. Dimmer, you can't blame my point poverty on my inability to curb my short-term urges for instant gratification of metal pipes and knocking. I mean, the metal pipes and knocking, though, are valid channel point rewards. Thank you, Polar Void. I have been bonked. Let's do that as a project. I mean, yes, that would make sense. When the right Global Hack Week theme comes around, I will do another channel overhaul, because the system we use for closed captions has been discontinued, and that sort of thing. So there is going to be a future Global Hack Week where we are going to Global Hack Week beginners. Actually, yeah, that might be perfect. Where we will update all of the sound effects. We will fix closed captions. We will make more things to do in chat, all the different things. Okay. But now if I do this, we are writing with the current date and time. Hey, there we go. What? Why did it do that? What?
Sweet. My apologies for attempting to deter you from adding the timestamp before the end of today's stream. Good work.
Why did it? Let's try this again. Is this Google Sheets doing formatting stuff? Because this is supposed to be year, month, day. But look, it's not. It's month, day, year. I have this set as year.
I rescind my last comment.
It was working. It was working. We all saw it. It was working. I'm going. Can I access? Yes, I can access the version history. We can see before I deleted everything to reset.
Code doing code things.
Yeah, look, it was adding it correctly. That was perfect. And then it stopped. If I restore this version, which is another thing, our database has version history and restoring and all of the things, and we run this again. Okay, it's adding correctly. I think it is literally just a cell formatting thing. If I get rid of this and I run this again, what happens? Should add it to the top. No, it added it down there. Okay. Now if I drag these up and run, what happens? Because that is a thing about Google Sheets. Yeah, see, and now it's doing that now. Why? Formatting.
Meow.
Yeah, so it's formatting as date. Plain text. Format. Plain text. And let's try running this again. Okay, yeah, it was just a Google Sheets formatting thing. Because now if we run this, it was trying to auto format it for us, but we want it to be, there we go. Okay, great. So now we will have, I hate Google Sheets formatting so bad. If you're using it as a spreadsheet, it can be useful occasionally, but right now it is not. So now all we need our Twitch bot to do is pull the current stream title and identify whenever a link is put in chat, which, as you know, I struggled to do, as evidenced by the fact that I was trying to identify when there was a link dropped in chat and not read the link out loud when people use TTS, but that hasn't worked. So we will need to revisit this and try this again. But we have this working, and just tomorrow we will just need to create a Twitch bot that connects to Twitch's IRC, pulls the title, grabs links, and everything else is set. And then what we can do is we can create another sheet that pulls from here and allows you to sort by stream title, by date, by time. And we also might be able to do some like URL fanciness here to make this better formatted. I'm really excited too. This has been a technical project that has gone only well. I'm very happy with this. Okay, well, that has been how to use Google Sheets as a cloud database. Can you sell it to MLH? I don't think I'd be able to sell this.
Said, don't jinx it.
Considering I'm currently being paid to do this. But yeah, oh, can I sell it to MLH? If I interpret selling not as monetary or monetary, Jesus.
Startup idea for dimmer, let's go.
But as like, hey, this is a thing that I made, let's make this more official and pass it off to the team to actually like polish it up, make it look nice, all of those things. I think this could be really useful. This is going really well. I'm really excited. With that, we do have the next stream coming up. What is the next stream going to be? Today is what, day 4? We have GeoGuessr after this in 4 minutes. Wait, there are 2 streams happening at the same time. What? This is the first time I've ever seen this happen. We have GeoGuessr happening and also a Redis workshop. So you can either go into the Discord and join GeoGuessr, or if you stick around here, it'll be a workshop on Redis. Quote, explore Redis Cloud, the easiest way to build and scale real-time applications. So those are the 2 things that are coming up. And again, I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, where we will now be building the Twitch bot aspect of this. Thank you all so much for coming.
It's actually for Slidisha karaoke.
What? Am I reading the wrong? Oh, I'm reading tomorrow. Oh my gosh. Yes, it is slideshow karaoke. I am so sorry, y'all. I was reading the wrong day. After this is slideshow karaoke in Discord. So go on into Discord, discord.mlh.io to join slideshow karaoke. Polar Void, I need to get my assignments done. I support that so much. Finally, someone in my chat actually doing their assignments. 404, I'm looking at you. But thank you all so much for coming. Have fun at slideshow karaoke, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Happy hacking, y'all. Bye. Thank you, Green Yoshi. That's very sweet. That makes me really happy.